How's it going, everybody? I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Before I begin, I want to say thank you so much to each and every single one of you. My viewers, my subscribers, supporters, friends, family, neighbors, eBay customers, one and all, you are amazing. In particular, my eBay customers, because of all of you, especially one or two of my repeat customers. I did fairly well this weekend. I really appreciate it. But before I begin, if you like what you see and you enjoy the content, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, comment in the comment section below, and hit the bell to receive notifications. I do have an eBay store called the Carolina Collector 001, where I'm selling loose sports cards, from time to time graded slab sports jerseys, other various other items. Thank you so much, everybody. The link is in the description box of every video and short that I upload here on YouTube, so check it out. Just another quick announcement. I think I've said this a couple times in my most recent videos and shorts, that I have endeavored to lower a lot of my prices, being that we're on the cusp of the holiday season. I think I did this last year as well. I've dropped my prices quite significantly on a lot of my listings, and I have over 500 listings still. So I did have an order that I got out this morning. If you saw my recent short with all my groceries and whatnot, talking about sports card negativity, go check that short out. But thanks to my sports card sales, hey man, you know, $100 extra is $100 extra for me to shop for groceries. It paid for my car insurance this month. So not everything is so negative in the sports card hobby. As a matter of fact, we're going to get into some positivity in the sports card hobby. Now, this is really not my motif or my forte, but I do have sticky notes up around me here. So forgive me if I tend to glance off camera here a little bit, because I want to talk about the appreciation of value of some of these slabs that I have. Now, mind you, I've only been back in a sports card hobby for a little over the year. I've been selling on eBay for approximately the same amount of time. So this is still all fairly new to me. And of course, it's a learning experience as I go on. You know, I wasn't given an owner's manual. I try to stick to more positive content. I try to immerse myself with good content creators out there. I do tend to follow more statistics here and there as time goes on when it comes to certain content creators. Scotty B and Blabbing About Slabbing, they're really good. I mean, well, Teapot, you know, he's an underling of, you know, Jeff Wilson. We all know how we feel about him. But this is not a Jeff Wilson bash fest. I do tend to watch those guys, Professor Sports Cards, Dan the Card Man, etc. You guys know the usual suspects. I tend to follow Wax Pack Gods and 10 Club Cards for pricing and values, and I tend to watch what cards are selling for. One or two of them, actually, I constantly see. There's one in particular at the end of this video that I'm just shocked by the value. Now, I never really got into the whole value and investment thing with sports cards because, you know, I'm a nobody in the sports card hobby. Let's face it. I'm a little wee nugget in the sports card hobby. I'm not a voice. I'm not a leader. I'm not trying to be an influencer or anything like that. That's really not my motif. I just, you know, say my piece and offer my opinions, and, you know, it is what it is. And of course, I stopped opening wax earlier this year because obviously the prices have gone way up on a lot of these cards, and I decided, hey man, that's enough for now. Until I decide I'm ready to open up wax again, I'm going to stop. You know, I've sold off a whole bunch of slabs over the past year, and it's really helped, you know, when I needed it the most. And it's also helped to bolster my business so that this way I can buy other things to review here, like the Charlie Kirk hat I'm wearing, or some of the jerseys that I've bought, or some of the Transformers toys I review here on the channel, sneakers, etc. And also it helps to pay the bills, which is the most important thing of them all. But this is really an area I'm not familiar with, so I wanted to get into this with the top 5 slabs in my personal collection that I've decided to keep. And I've been watching these 5 cards in particular because I'm shocked as to how the prices of these have appreciated. One of them I set myself. It's still on PSA's website. And all the prices that I'm going to discuss here, and again, forgive me, I got sticky notes all over the place. The average prices and the recent sales of these particular cards are directly from PSA's website. And one of these prices I set myself because I haven't seen another one of these cards on eBay yet, even though they do list 4 out of the 5 in the population numbers. I guess were graded by PSA. I've only seen the one, which is the one that I have in my possession. We'll get into that in a little bit. But I just want to say, like, you know, it's amazing. Like, you know, it's a welcome surprise. You know, if you're somebody like me that's into it for more innocent reasons and not nefarious reasons, I'm more on the collector's side than anything else, you know, and to have these 5 particular cards, 2 of which I've always wanted since I'm a little kid. We're going to discuss them here in this video. It's just remarkable to see how valuable these cards have become. And if, God forbid, I ever got into financial trouble, I know exactly which cards to turn to, because these 5 cards can buy me a car right now if I chose to sell them. If I was able to find, good legitimate buyers to pick these up. Not saying that my other slabs are worthless, because some of the other slabs I got are also PSA, but there's still a handful of them that are SGC. And I know how most people feel about SGC. I mean, I got a couple of them right here in front of me. There's the Corbin Carroll Red out of 5 SGC 10. There's my Aaron Judge refractor, which was an SGC 10. There's my Ellie 10 9.5 out of 25 red auto, etc., etc. It goes on and on. There's the Barry Bonds that I pulled out of a pack. I decided to keep this one. I sold off my PSA 10 1987 rookie recently, as a matter of fact, from Topps, as far as Barry Bonds is concerned. So let's get right into this. I do have this in exact order from descending to ascending order. So we're going to start from the bottom up. The number 5 card on this list that I still can't believe is valued at this price is my 2024 Mojo refractor, which is a PSA 10. And this is I believe this is the bookend. Yeah, no, it's not a bookend. It's a 2 out of 5 red Mojo refractor and a PSA 10. And this one, PSA have graded the other 3. There's still one that has not been graded yet. One of these prices I set myself. So the average price is going for $1,032.78, which I believe I set because it was up for auction last year and I was able to snag it. The most recent sale was $1,056.55, so that must have been one of the others that sold in auction. But that's a shock. I mean, it's still appreciated by $20 almost, but, it's the off season. He's a pitcher. I know everybody can, get a little squeamish about pitchers, especially Paul Skeens. I'm hoping he becomes the next Nolan Ryan, throughout his career. At least wins a Cy Young Award and stuff like that. I'd love to see that. But for right now, compared to the PSA 10s of the black version of this card that I've seen, those are going for like $2 or $3 grand. So I'm sure that eventually this is going to appreciate. Let's see how he does throughout his career. So this is a risky one. As you all know, pitchers are always risky. Number 4 on this list, if I can find him. All right, there he is. It's something I've always wanted as a kid. I was always a Yankees fan, and Donnie Baseball just defines what baseball was and is to this day. I mean, Jesus, the Toronto Blue Jays are in the World Series, because of him being behind the scenes as a bench coach. I'm sure he's had a lot to do with what's been going on with the Blue Jays. So here's my 1984 Topps Don Mattingly number 8. There's currently a population of 957 of these in a PSA 10. The most recent sale of this has gone for $1,390. And they go for an average price of $1,284.67 at the time of this video. So that's just amazing for this card. And you don't see them popping up that often on eBay. Usually you see these autographed, or you see them in PSA 9s and all that kind of stuff, or they're authenticated because of their autos or what have you. But, I have it raw as is, which is awesome. And I'm very happy to have that Don Mattingly, that Donnie Baseball card in my collection. As a Yankees fan, I mean, who better to have in your collection than Donnie Baseball? It's just like the Aaron Judge. Even though the Yankees, fell out of, the postseason, I have a feeling that Aaron Judge is going to be the next Donnie Baseball. He's going to have no World Series rings, but is going to break all sorts of records and all that kind of stuff. So I got a feeling he's going to be the next Donnie Baseball. And with that being said, let's get into number 3. And this one I bought fairly cheap at the time. Where are you? Oh, it's right here. This was the last card I looked up. So the average price and the recent price is exactly the same. There's a population number of 14 of these in a PSA 10. Pardon me. And that would be the 2022 Bowman Chrome Jackson Merrill Prospects Autographed Gold Mini Diamond, which is this guy right here. It's numbered out of 50, and it's a nice color match for his uniform for the Padres. So very nice card to have. Very nice color match. Very clean auto. And again, the population number on this particular card in the PSA 10 is 14. And the most recent sale and average price for one of these is $1,686.16, which is remarkable because I didn't pay that, for that card. I got it for much cheaper. Now, this one really needs no introduction. This is number 2 in my current slab collection, or a high-profile slab collection, and it's no surprise why I kept this. I've sold off a whole bunch of this man's cards on eBay, and there's still a whole bunch more to sell. And currently, there are 4,841 PSA 10s, and this is actually remarkable because this is actually a base card. This is the one and only Shohei Ohtani. This is his 2018 Bowman Chrome batting. And the most recent sale of this card is at $1,925 with an average price of $1,868.71. I can't believe that, how much this card is now going for. And of course, I think I paid maybe like $1,000 for it at that time, and this thing has certainly appreciated quite a bit. So I'm very happy for that. Now he's become the MVP in the postseason. Let's see if he wins another World Series. It's quite possible this man is, going to skyrocket to Mars or Jupiter, man. Jesus. And this card also needs no introduction. I see this coming up in all the review channels here on YouTube, and it's the one card that I'm very happy to have in my collection. And mind you, at the time, I paid $1,700 for this, and this is about maybe 15 or 16 months ago. This card is the ever omnipresent 1989 Upper Deck Ken Griffey Jr. Star Rookie. It's the number 1 card in the set. It's a PSA 10. And this is just unbelievable. So there's a population of 4,230 PSA 10s. And the price on this card, like I said, this is when I first started off in the hobby, and I never had one of these as a kid. This came out when I was still in junior high school. And I got out of the hobby, and plus my dad got laid off for many years. It was a very hard time in my family when I was in junior high school. My dad did everything to make sure that the rent was paid and food was put on the table. So a lot of sacrifices were made. There was a lot of bad times in our family, but prior to his death, I'm glad that him and I had some words and forgave each other and made sure he got a good send off before he left this earth to join my ancestors and my family in heaven. Or, if you want to look at it from a Germanic point of view, Valhalla. So, the most recent sale, according to PSA's website, for this was $4,650 with an average retail price of $4,294.15. That's like unreal. And mind you, I'm looking at this from, just a wallflower collector. I'm really not one for value. I always wanted this card, but to see, I literally almost 3x the value on this card. I can't believe that. I really can't believe how much this card is worth. I can't believe how much these 5 cards are worth in total. Right here, essentially, I could buy a new car if I were to find the right buyers, if I were to sell these. I mean, that's just absolutely remarkable and incredible how valuable cards can be. And that doesn't include the few slabs that I did keep from SGC, etc. And there's still a lot of cards I want to slab up, including some of my dad's vintage, which I never got around to yet. I'm just waiting, to see what goes on with my personal life behind the scenes and how my finances go. But it's just remarkable. It's really remarkable to see how valuable these cards are, So you never know. And again, I look at this as a wallflower collector, just watching from behind the scenes. I'm not like the Jeff Wilson type. I mean, I am currently selling one of my personal slabs. That's the Gunnar Henderson 9.5 red out of 5 from the Mitchell and Ness set, which I think I'm selling currently for $549, where a lot of the red out of 5s in 2023 are going for like $1,000 or more. But it's SGC. I know how people feel, and that's why I priced it the way I did. But anyway, with all that being said, again, it's just shocking Very shocking to see how the value of these cards have appreciated. It's insane. It really is. And if I were to find the right buyers, if I decided to sell, you best believe the first thing on my list is a new car, or something like that. But it's just incredible, especially with the Griffey Jr. This thing is just so iconic and so wonderful and so beautiful, that it's pushing almost $5,000 at this point, according to the most recent prices I got there. So, you never know. You really never know. It's a nice surprise when you have something like that in your hands, and of course I'm humbled by that. I never had things like this before, and I really truly appreciate having what I have in my collection. So, and there are going to be other slabs that I want. There may be other slabs I'll buy. Like, again, one of the slabs I decided to buy against my will throughout the year was the yellow foil from Topps Update. That's the Paul Skeens PSA 10. Now, I went through PSA 10, not PSA 10s, excuse me, SGC 10s and 9.5s of this particular card, whether it be an X-Fractor or the yellow foil or rainbow foil or gold or whatever have you, and I sold them all off. And when I saw this at the price that it was for, I basically just rolled it over to get myself a PSA 10 of this card, so why not? I could. But you don't see too many of them on eBay anymore. People have pretty much scooped them up because, well, they're the cheapest cards in this category in paper. And it's a nice looking color match to his uniform. It is what it is. I really wanted the SGC 10 because it would match his uniform totally with the black foam and everything like that. But the one I had was an SGC 9.5, and I decided I'm not going to chase anymore. This was available after I sold off all of those other Paul Skeens cards and picked this up. I think currently this is going for like $300, $350 or something like that. But, still, it's a nice card. But again, he's a pitcher. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? Hopefully he doesn't get hurt or Tommy John. With all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, this was a really fun video to make. I really love talking about this stuff, and I know most of you enjoy the hobby and like this kind of stuff too. It's just shocking. It's nice to have things like this. But it's a more welcome surprise when you find out that things are just as valuable as they are. And that Griffey is definitely the top of the heap, at least in my personal collection. So anyway, I'm your host, the Carolina Collector. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to receive notifications. Check out my eBay store. The description box, the link to my eBay store is in the description box below. Sorry about that, folks. I don't script my video. I'm going to get tongue-tied once in a while. Take care, everybody, and enjoy your Tuesday.